Today we're going over a post-ban list, Monkey D. Luffy. So the leader is not banned, but we simply can't use Katakuri and or Big Mom. So the first thing that we did was put in place some new characters. The one I think is the most prominent that will likely take the Big Mom spot is the Mihawk. And then you have Katakuri. That's a little bit harder to do because it's the or Green Bull is basically like that but worse, though it does have some utility, so we're running one of those, and we can be a bit more proactive with our attacks, one being that we have two Luffys instead of just none or one for tech, and that could be used to either bounce back some 2k counters of our own, or we can bounce a threat from them. So it does come at a cost of trashing a card, and in the early game we don't really have a lot of those in hand. The other piece that I want to put in is the 910 Rush Luffy. This one's pretty solid, however you do run into the weakness of playing it, you're minus a Dawn, but you have like a Gum Giant up, for example. You're going to be always up to 9, and you're not going to be able to do the Giant and have consequences anymore. So that can be rough, especially when you have it in hand. So this is more like a finisher than anything. But that's pretty much the big costs out of the way. Everything else is pretty much the same, with the exception of Duval. I feel that the UP Luffy is a lot more vulnerable in the early game than ever before. I like to go second with this setup, and the Duval just does it on 2. You can search and fix the hand legally, and if it gets not knocked to your hand or is dealt with, not a big deal. You get the on play anyway, so you have that. You, of course, Nami is your setup piece for your big stuff later on, and you're going to need red rocks for those like Shanks or Blackbeard players that like to drop 10 costs, because this tool is not equipped to taking out your 8 or 9 drops easily, so need to have red rocks in. Though the good news is, once you're online, you're going to be able to search this out at least once or twice. So nice little 2 bit here, and the rest of this deck is pretty much all turboing to get to 8 Dawn as soon as possible. So we have that in the form of a few tools. We're running 8, 10, 14 ramp cards in order to make that a bit more faster. And of course, you can't leave without the pudding, because there's still big hand sizes out there, and having them shuffle their carefully comboed hand into 5 random cards feels pretty good. So not only are you dealing with card loss, but you're dealing with less consistency on their end. So always nice to have 1 or 2, and when you're blue, there's always a threat of putting in the rear view. But yeah, that's the deck list in a nutshell. This one's pretty longer than the usual ones, but post-ban list can do that. But yeah, timestamps are in the description, as well as the deck lists. And what do we have next? Not much. We got 3 games going forward, and let's get right into them. Okay, Shmoyo. Okay, we got the second turn here. Let's keep this. Drawing, let's Duval here. Let's do we need any of these cards? We need other cards than that. Okay, so I got their blocker in accordance. We'll just counter out of this one. Use action. Can't use it now. Let's get Bond Chan in this. Inactive dodge. Swing 6. Yeah, trigger? 0 cost trigger? No trigger. Okay, so you're just setting up some blocker threats. So we'll do another 6. Do the same thing and counter out again. Maybe we should use gear 2. In hindsight. Let's for sure get this ready. And then we could spank for 7. And if they block with it, I could always try to compete. Force a blocker out. Okay, they're really critically low. And all their stuff is blockers that they need to not get popped. Wow, Bonchan's gonna win this game. Maybe. Okay, so they have their blocker here. We have all the cards. It would be funny if we just drew pudding right here, right now. Ooh. We can get Sanji. Start placing the cards on top. And we'll draw. I think right now we just need to clean up board. And to do that, let's Sanji first. We want to get rid of... We'll get rid of a blocker. And then we're just going to go after... I'm going to go for life. And then we'll take out the blocker. I wanted to build a board because ours is pretty fragile right now. Sure. So you're gonna get a whole plethora of Dawn back. The moment the smoker attacks, I can bully. Play the red rock on the Mihawk. And if you're playing multiple cards, it's less cards you have in hand size. If you attach Dawn to Smoker to invest, I guess you can make that work. But then you're not playing cards. So the bullying becomes a lot easier. Gonna be able to sort out. Okay, so they have nothing but counter. That's what that tells me. So I'm not gonna be able to make something there. How much are they willing to invest? Okay, they're searching. Are they looking for Tashigi? It's another 2k counter that they have. First is just 9k swings into face. Nine here. They're likely going to take this one and give me a blocker. Take this one. Okay, so playing bricks are not going to solve much, but they still have Dawn to attach. But they have to punch up, which means we can counter easily. We'll be able to get one back. Okay, another Bonnie. So they now just have counter cards. Ooh. Okay, they're gonna turn their attention. They probably would have to spank. Probably send the smoker to compete here. Alright, we're gonna drop Luffy here. Crashing one, giving this back, attaching. Then we'll just casually slap a 9. Unless they have double 2k here. That was a grind for sure. Okay, so we're going first. We have pudding here. They don't really have a large hand size, so we'll maul. No actions, draw, and pass. Okay, so they got Concaster, and then 2. We crashed the wedding. Okay, so they have Giant. No need to draw here. All we need to do is gear to it. And then we'll go 6. And let's see how they perform here. They're up to 4. Well, they do that for formality, but let's see. If they play Reiju, we can thread it. If they play Sanji, that's going to be a little bit more difficult. But I think putting Bon to ramp is also helpful. They're going to just draw 2 cards. They left one up, so did they make the mistake of not doing it, or they're gonna just leave that one up, or they're gonna just search because they're not done with their turn yet? Okay, so a whole bunch of cycling. So they might have one in the pocket, but let's see. All right, so we're at 6. We'll be at 9 next turn. Still unable to use our leader ability, but we should at 9. But at the same time, we can no, we can't set something up. So I think the plan is to just play Bon. Actually, we'll leave Bon, and we'll leave one up just so We'll just leave up one up for association. So we'll go 8 to life. Might get concassor. Yep. And then we'll bond, gain it on, and pass. Okay, there's Reiju, so that can... Okay, that won't be easily popped. Putting some additional searching. Okay, that's perfectly fine. Are they going to attach one to go for face? No, they're just going to leave one up again. Probably a second concass. But we're at 5 now, so can't deal with the Reiju at all, actually, with Thread. So we could set up the Aramaki now. I think we'll lean towards that, actually. We'll just swing 7 here. And so they'll either have to block it and then give a counter or do a Ara. But either way, they're gonna give us a card. Okay, they're gonna give us 2 cards. Perfect. All right, hard play our 8K blocker, and we'll see where we go from here. Okay, Sanji is up and available, so they're bringing in the bodies. But the moment they attack, they're vulnerable. We'll counter out. Now we can search. Okay, Mihawk is going to be not sufficient here. And we're going to have to go with Nami. We'll get Usopp, actually. Place these at the bottom. Draw. Let's start by playing out Nami. This is not looking too good here. Put these at the bottom. And we'll Usopp to rest 1. Then we're going to trash 1, sending the... Alright, what? Card 1 card from your hand. Trash. And then we'll go 11 to 6. And then this can go 7. Okay. We got Giant for next turn. Okay, that's perfectly fine. Now, are they going to swing with Sanji? They will. I'll take. Sanji is up. But sadly, we can't really use him at this stage, so we will get the Usopp. We'll start placing these on top. We'll save them for later. Okay, so now we'll start with a 6K swing first. See if they give us something here. Maybe they'll block with Reiju. Okay, so they do a search. I think we forced the issue. No, it counts as a blocker, so we'll just return one. Turn no optional, we'll draw. And then we will swing for 10 to the face. You either have to block I have to give another card for that, so they'll get some new cards in rotation. That 2k counter is gone. Let's hit him again, give him some additional pressure. Alright, so now the floodgates are open. We got more blocker support. Okay, so they're gonna get rid of the Luffy. We'll just counter here. Get their Dawn back. Okay, so still not finding what we need. We'll get gear 2. Start placing on top. I don't think we need to do much here. We'll just force blockers. Let's go 9. Alright, so that's 2 cards down. Still trying to look for something to play with Sanji here. So I guess this is the minus. Oh no, it's more boof. Good news is that they don't have any more blockers. They can draw cards. Okay, so no putting. Yep. We didn't pull off Sanji off, but we still had a lot of pressure in our hands. Okay, Enel, the dread Enel is back. In this case, they operate off of. I think we go second. We want to rush for our buffs here. Okay, so we got Duval, we got Ramp. I think this is a keepable hand. Card action, can't do anything. Draw. We have our Devil. Not going to be able to use Thread. These are just 2k counters. We'll just place these at the bottom. Okay, so they got a blocker in play, but we're 6k body, so not a problem. I think this is a case of just playing Bond and then keeping everything else in check. So they're always going to take lives, so I'm just gonna swing 6. Anything here? No. Bond to give us options, and we can let go. Okay, so Bond is going down. I think in this case I do take it, as crazy as it sounds. All right, so we're at 7. We'll be at 10 next turn. So we can do is get up in action. It's rough. What I can do instead is just play Nami. We can go 7, leave 1 up anyway. We don't get our searches, but what we can do is put Nami in a position to put Mihawk and then Sanji in place. So I think that's better. So we can attach 1 here, go for 7. No triggers, deploy, and then we can start placing first Mihawk and then, all right, hold on. Mihawk is first and Sanji will be on top. I hope that's how I do it. Otherwise I have completely goofed. Okay, so it's probably a 2K counter. We can let that go. Can't use it yet. Okay, we did it correctly. So, of course, want to go 6 here. Hopefully we can pull another trigger. And then we play Sanji, Mihawk, on the blocker. All right, so it's Sanji for days, but we need to... We're red rocking here. Start placing the Sanjis on top because we're gonna need 1, but maybe not multiple. We'll do it like so. And now we can start sieging for life. We can start by bottom decking 1. And then we can put some pressure down. We can go 6 life. And then we can attach. If they have a trigger, that's perfectly fine. But we're just trying to make them get rid of cards. So they're gonna have to drop 2 cards if it's that 0 cost event. And they probably have another one. Okay. And I think mistake was not using this because I think we're fine. We'll just play Bon. Can't get an active Dawn, but it is a threat. Whenever they play something big, it becomes that. So I think that was our intent. We'll get a giant here because place the others. Do we want to play any more Sanjis at this point? No. I think we only need the 1. Okay. I think this still always happens. Go 9. We'll go 9 again. And they have more life to give. We'll go 8. Okay, so they heal. But then the aces, okay, they're just gonna stand there. Okay, so we'll use an action. We'll get a Rush Luffy. No, we don't need Rush Luffy. We'll need Nami. It's a form of counter. We'll place these on top. And then we could put it like so. I think we value the blocker than bond. So we'll return it like so. We'll draw it. And then I think we just do the standard swings here. 6. Cheetah 2K. Okay. And then 9. A second 9. They have another trigger to give us. Okay, and then we'll deploy, turn it on, draw, and then go 10. And then we still have 1 up for a giant if we have to use it. A simple 2K counter will help. So they get life, but we could do a giant here. Here. 2. Solve. And yeah, we'd have way too much threats to get them next turn because they run off of whatchamacallit, attrition, but so do we, and I think we do a better job at it. The 6 red rocks helped, or the 2 red rocks helped in that case because it slowed them down. They can only heal for so long. And there you have it, some up Luffy for OP-12 post ban list. Thoughts on the matter? I think the big cost cards are where they need to be. Maybe we can add 1 more, maybe to add Aramaki, just have that big blocker to save ourselves from getting rushed down. So probably adding 1 here. The question is, where do I want to replace the cards? Now I think the God Thread is going to be a bit on the iffy side. I mean, you're going to need all the ramp that you can get, and sometimes, from my experience, it doesn't seem like I have the option that gives it to me, but I think it's still an essential piece, at least for turboing. So maybe I might knock it down to 3 and add 1 to our heavy list. It doesn't change the fact that there's still a whole bunch of non-counters in this deck, but being 6K helps with that. So maybe we can drop 1 and put another here. Oh, we just got rid of him entirely. That's my fault. But in any case, we can bring him down to 2, giving us approximately 9 targets to cheat out with Sanji. So we can always keep that in mind. But yeah, other than the change to the God Thread and how many heavy stuffs are in the deck, we can pretty much keep it as is for now. So again, without the life gain from Linlin and the consistency blocks from Katakuri, it is weaker, objectively speaking, but if you still want to have UP Luffy, it is still one of the top decks in terms of the long game. So it's still out there. But yeah, that's it for me. Let me know what tidbits would you want to add in the post-ban list up Luffy. And yeah, like, share, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and I will see you next time.